Normally stories come with that. Sometimes you laugh, sometimes you cry, sometimes you just remember some good shit. Welcome to the Bottom of the Bottom podcast.
Good people, man. Look, it is the Wednesday Happy Hour Humpday podcast. I am your host, Jay Walken. That's my co-host over there, Carolina Dirt 803. Y'all know what time it is, man. How you doing this evening, Carolina?
Y'all already know what it is. Hump day.
Halfway through the week, man. Halfway through the week. You know how it gets sometimes. It get tough out there, man. So y'all can come share an hour with us, man, and sit down and get some good information and definitely meet some good people. Down at the bottom, you see her, Miss Bernadette. We call her B.Luv. Thank you for joining us, B.Luv. How are you doing this evening?
I'm wonderful. Thank you for having me, but I can't see you guys. Can you guys see me?
Yeah, we can see.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
If you can see me, that's what. If you can see me, that's what matters. But
Okay.
thank you so much for having me. Happy Hump Day, guys. How are you guys doing tonight?
Doing great. It's hump day.
It's hump day, man. It's
Halfway through.
halfway through. I live
Yeah.
for the Fridays, as they say. I live for Fridays.
Living for the weekend.
Okay,
Close to
so
the Junior Friday tomorrow. So
indeed. I get paid tomorrow, so you know that equates. That equates.
Yeah,
that's
that
always
helped
a
out a
win.
lot.
Always a
So we're gonna go into this first section. We call it first call. We just enter in the bar, man, and when you get to the bartender should have some good words for you or some good conversation. So that's how we built this particular section.
win.
Um,
Okay.
yeah, so it's just quick, rapid fire questions. They don't have a right or wrong answer or anything like that. It just kind of give people an idea about you.
Okay.
So, my first question is pomegranates or mangoes?
Mangoes.
Blankets on or off?
In between.
There are nights for that. There are nights for that. If you had any superpower, your choice of any superpower that you've seen in a video, comic, whatever, what would it be?
Ah, that's a tough one because there's some good ones, but I do like that Wonder Woman magic rope. It's pretty powerful.
And she an Amazon, so she
And
like
she
she
an
was strong.
Amazon.
Yeah,
There you go.
She a horse
indeed.
riding a horse.
Exactly.
Number four, my number four question. People like to go MJ versus Prince or Biggie versus Tupac. I'm asking you, MJ versus Tupac. What would be your choice?
Tupac.
Indeed. I like that. And then, you know, just because I dig these two actors, it's a new question. Michael J. Fox or Tom Hanks?
Ooh.
That's a really good question, but I would go with Tom Hanks.
Me too. Tom Hanks.
Tom
I got.
Hanks is all right by me.
Hey,
Yeah.
y'all ever seen Road to Perdition?
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
yes.
People don't know he was a gangster in that movie. Hey, he was a real gangster in that movie.
I've never
He's been
seen
so many
him.
great roles. That's what made great actors, and he's been a great actor in each role. So, yeah, definitely Tom Hanks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never seen him in a role that I didn't believe him in. So
Exactly.
that was my five. My brother also has five, so we'll see which way he go with
Let's
you.
go with it.
I think you already answered this question, but just because I just saw it, Apple or Android.
Apple.
I saw a little post where somebody said don't go into 20 in the 22 with an Android. I'm still going in with an Android. I don't care.
Well, let me just say this about the whole Android thing. I will give you credit because I stepped away from Android. Apple became so simple, and when you're an Android user, a consistent Android user, it's simple to you. But when you step away from that and you go to Apple and you come back to Android, I was like, I need a tutorial, a course. You have the 48-hour version. How do you do this? And so that's what I just simplified with Apple. But Samsung has its own great thing.
All right. Forrest Whitaker or Don Cheadle?
Mm.
Another tough one because Forrest is quirky, right? And he takes that quirkiness into his roles. For some reason, any role he's in, he just makes it his own with his own Forrest quirky crap stuff. And then you got Don, who's just like, I don't know that there's a choice. I really don't. But Don, if I had to, I would go with Don Cheadle.
Don Cheadle. Jagged
Yeah.
Edge or 112?
Well, I mean, what's all these? Why we gotta choose? It's so different.
That's part of it.
Why can't we have it all? I'm just saying. Jagged Edge.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Hold up, real quick. What was their best album? You think their best album?
It's what is it? Isn't the first one Jagged Edge? It's with the song
Jagged
with
Era.
I got it. Yeah, Jagged Era with the
Yep.
I Gotta Be and
Yeah, all
all
right.
the bangers
That's what
on
I
it.
said.
Yeah,
Yeah, I say that. All right,
that's the one.
wine or champagne?
It's an occasion.
Right
I'm
now.
definitely drinking wine every day. I'm drinking wine now, but I definitely like my champagne on my occasion. So it's the occasion.
Okay. So I see your backdrop. A city view or a country view?
Both. But right now it's city view.
All right, that was first call.
Yay! Cheers.
See, so B.Luv, talk
Hmm.
to us a little bit. Like, you got an interesting organization that you're or platform that you're trying to start, and I think it's needed. You know what I'm saying? So, tell us what LGL Real Talk is going to be about.
Okay, so what it is about actually, well, first of all, thank you both so much for having me. I really appreciate this time on your show. I know that you only bring something on that means something, so that means something to me. Thank you. The LGL Real Talk basically is a show that I created November 11th, 2020. It was a calling that came to me bigger than me. I have a really belief in higher power and God. And so, while we were stuck in COVID, I think everybody came into this awareness of where they were. At least I hope that they did. I did. I was
A lot
able
of us
to,
did.
sit down and really evaluate my life up until that point. I was by myself, for the most part. So, LGL kicked off November 11th, 2020. The whole preface and premise of the platform is basically about how, and I'll say it, LGL stands for a little girl lost, a little girl lost, a little boy lost, and grown folks lost is what I'm really learning as I'm doing these lives are people who don't know their worth or their value. And when you don't know your worth or your value, you fall for anything because you don't know any better. You know what I mean? You want something. So I created this platform because I was that person for a long time. I'm no longer that woman today. I'm still a work in progress. Let's not get it confused. I'm not sitting here saying I'm perfect. I still have a ways to go, but I know who I am today. And so now I've stepped into grown woman found. So I wanted to create this platform so that we can talk about the things that created little girl loss and that sense of worthlessness, why we've made these bad decisions and strip it all down. Because from my experiences, all come from family stuff that's been laid on me from a very young age that I've been kind of carrying. Now I realize I'm like, you know what? None of that has anything to do with you. Let all that go. And now move better and think better and love better. You know what I'm saying? And so the whole premise of the platform is that we meet every Wednesday, 6 o'clock. We talk about all types of stuff. All types of people were on tonight. I had Lord Finesse on. I had Talent the comedian on, and it was just an amazing talk because what I'm finding is that people not only need to talk, but they want to have the talk. And that's where it starts when we talk about change.
So who
So
is your
that's LGO Real Talk.
so who was your first supporter and who's your biggest supporter?
My first supporter, um,
And remember,
I had,
I'm sorry, but people get that mixed up. Supporter is the person that encourages you. Everybody has a different definition. So you can take that question how you want it and just explain. But everybody has a different. When I ask that question, a lot of people, first person to tell you to do it, I think is your first supporter. But everybody's different.
I will say that my first supporter, which is God, and the one who told me to do this, has been my biggest supporter, and I've seen it in how many doors and opportunities have been open to me in the past year, and being able to talk to people that I never like what I've seen on TV and you know what I'm saying in movies and on shows, and I'm having conversations. I'm sitting down and kicking with it, and we're talking about whatever, and it's these conversations that are real. God is real. So he's my biggest supporter and champion. And I'm just like, he's telling me that what I'm doing is on my path and my mission. So I would have to say God.
That's dope. That's dope.
That's
Yeah.
super dope.
That's my number one dude right there. He got me all day, every day. It's incredible. And I'm even happy to be able to even speak it because I understand. And I had a show a few weeks ago talking about what is God because God is different things to different people. People think it could be a statue, it could be a cross, it could be whatever, and in that,
That's
have that
power.
faith because it means something. So,
Indeed. We had talent on. We had the pleasure that brother shared his time with us on a fledgling podcast, man, and I always appreciate him for that. Just like it's good to know people that they say don't meet your idols. You
right.
feel me? And I
Yep.
grew up on talent. You know what I'm saying? We had a
Mm-hmm.
dope conversation, but we had some technical issues, so it didn't come out right. But I was present for the conversation, and that meant a lot to me. So, how did you run across talent?
So Talon and I ran across each other via so Instagram. He sells a lot of merch, and when we were in COVID, one of his angles was selling merch. He couldn't do shows, so he was pushing out a lot of stuff over Instagram, and somehow we wound up crossing paths. And the first time I ever saw Talent was like in my early 20s. The joke with us is like went to his very first comedy show with a group of my friends, and one of my friends decided to be the heckler and
Oh
Terrence
wow.
smoked his ass 10 with all of us. We were all at the table like, why? We didn't even say anything. But everybody at the table got bullets. Everybody. And since then, so I always remembered him. So when we crossed paths, I support as an entrepreneur. I support other entrepreneurs. So, I would buy merch and stuff. And then when he started getting back out, I went out to the show, and that's how we connected in person. And one of the amazing things about talent, and I have to say it even here, is his ability to pay it forward. He said it today. He was on my live earlier today. And one of the things that I love about talent is like if he sees you want an opportunity, he's gonna give you the opportunity. Just do something with it. And if you're doing something with it, he'll get behind it. And he's not looking for anything back other than you doing your very best and excelling. And so I give that man his flowers all day, every day. I love him to death, because I know he'll continue to do that, and he fuels me to do that.
Which what is crazy is so we got talent on, and I think that's how I ran across yours because I
Okay.
think he might have tagged you in or something like that. So I just started. I think I added you through our bottom of the bottle group, and I just kept looking at you work, and that's one thing that every episode that we've done, I think we're over 60 episodes in, and we
Right.
just started in February. We're over 60 episodes in.
Right.
I always preach about support. Uh,
Right.
we don't ask for nothing. We just the only thing we really ask for is great conversation. Like
Right.
that's like the best thing is to have great conversations to tell stories. So my
Hmm.
question to you is: are you still friends with that person that caused talent to get on your ass?
Good question. That's a great question.
Are you still friends with that person? Because see, this is a great story.
Wait, what person? What you mean? I
You
don't
said
understand.
you said the dude that talent, was the heckler and talent got on their ass. And
Oh,
are y'all still friends?
I haven't spoken to him over 25
I
years.
wouldn't either. I wouldn't either. It wouldn't matter
Oh,
what
I'm
he
like,
did.
yo. Listen,
You
it's so
gotta.
funny because let me tell you something. When you are in a certain elevation in thought and how you interact with yourself, right? People see celebrities and they're like they're stars. And the only difference between them and us is that a lot more people know them, and they may make a lot more money than we do, or some more money than we do, because you never know. You never know. But at the end of the day, when you interact in a like mind, you get treated in a like mind, right? And so, I'm grateful because the past crossing is just another one of the stories of one of B.Luv stories in her book of memories. But it's just like thank you, but now it's like thank you. You know what I mean?
Right.
And
Right.
I'm grateful to him because I've come across so many paths in the past year. Like it's been amazing. And one of the funny stories I'll share is Michael Collier, which I know you guys both know, right? He comes out to do a show and out in New Jersey. I'm in New Jersey. I don't know, somehow, some way at the end of the show, I'm taking Michael Collier back to his hotel room. Now, I know that sounds crazy. You see your eyebrows
Yeah.
going up, but I am literally like that person who's like, you need a ride? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not, you don't have to take public transportation or whatever. Don't worry, it's nothing to me. It's nothing.
Right.
Right? So he's like, so me and Michael Collier jump in the car. He starts talking about, like when I say it was an episode, I wish I could have filmed it, but it's just an episode in my head that I can share. So we're in this car. Michael Collier is telling me how to drive. We're coming from a comedy show. I had a few drinks, but when you're not the driver and you don't know the driver, you could feel uncomfortable. So he's sitting there like, so you want to turn the windshield wipers on? So you want to turn the windshield wipers off? I'm like, Michael, I'm gonna need you to be the comedian and I'm gonna be the driver in this episode, okay? Stay over there. So as we're talking, he's like, there's been a whole lot of debate about the vaccine. I have not gotten my vaccine. I'm not prepared to do that. That's just my choice. But in New York City, in order to dine in anywhere, you have to have a vaccination card, right? So he's staying in Midtown. I live in New Jersey. It's the middle of the night, so he's like, "We're gonna go have a fabulous dinner." Now listen, this is a celebrity. He's a comedian. Under normal circumstances, we would have went somewhere and had a fabulous dinner. But this isn't normal circumstances. This is after COVID, and I don't have a vaccine. So I'm looking at him and I'm like, so Michael, that fabulous is gonna have to go through a drive-through, son, because right now we're in
Son,
Jersey and ain't nothing open. And even if we get to New York, I don't have a card. I got a card. Yeah, but I don't have a card. I'm like, and they're not gonna let me in. He's like, so he's still contemplating. Then we get over the bridge. We're driving down 8th Avenue, and he goes, stop right there. Stop right there. We're going to go in here and we're going to have a fabulous dinner. No problem, Mike. Make it happen. Because I like this shit. Make it happen. He gets out, comes back out. So what drive through are we going through?
That's dope.
I said, well, what do you want? What do you want, Mike? We wind up settling on White Castle.
damn.
We go to White Castle. We get food. We chopping it up. And when I say again, would I have had that experience if I didn't have this relationship with this awesome comedian? You know what I'm saying? Talent and supporting him, and you know what I'm saying, and people around him. That was an awesome situation. You know what I mean? So you have to leave yourself open to life, and that's what I've done.
So let me ask you
It's,
this: why he ain't bring takeout? Why he ain't get carry out?
Whew.
Michael Corey, when he went to the restaurant and they wouldn't let y'all in, he just got to go.
It was one of those things where he was really just trying to hang out.
Yeah, I
He
understand.
wanted to hang out. And listen, I'm not mad. I wanted to hang out too, but we couldn't. We
yeah.
hanging out at White Castle and in the car. So, it was funny. And it was even funnier because, of course, in speaking to the topic before this one in platonic relationships, he was like, well, before all of the whole we having a fabulous dinner stop here, you can always come up to my room, offer, come up. And I'm like, I'm good. I'm either taking your ass to White Castle or to the door. What we doing? Like, you know what I mean?
Michael
And it
Carter
was
got to be
okay.
70.
Michael, and just out of relationship. But listen, ain't nobody's mad at that. The fact of the matter is, he had such a great time. He goes to tell at the next show, and he's like, I had the best time. So I was like, why has this dude been in my ear about you? I'm like, apparently, you don't have to go to Mr. Child's. White Castle still works.
But But you
You
know
sound
what?
like a sponsor. Like that's about to be your new sponsor.
I don't know. That's what y'all. That's a man response. I'm just letting y'all know I kept it simple, and sometimes that's all you have to do is keep it simple.
Nah, that's a lesson for men and women. You know what I'm saying? Your energy will give you grace through other people. You
Yeah.
feel me?
Oh, thank you.
You know what I'm
Thank you.
saying? Like the energy that you give off, I don't care how well you think you can act. If you're not giving off true positive energy, it'll show.
Yeah.
And it's dope
Thank
that,
you.
yeah, for sure. Like, I think we need to bring that presence of mind to people. I don't think people understand how simple it is. And there
Yeah.
are anxieties and there are mental stresses that can give people pause, but I think the more we show that you can just be regular, no matter who a person is or what level that person might be at. Like
Right.
that's a dope story. Like Michael Collier has probably told that story to 100 of his friends. It may
Which
have
is
gone a little
dope.
different, but he's telling the story, and it's because
Right.
you allowed him to flourish. You allowed him to feel comfortable. You know,
But you
you a
know,
comedian. You in the city. It's late at night. How many people are not wrapped tight enough to handle that situation?
Right.
You know what
but
I'm
you,
saying? So
Right.
there's
Thank
grace in
you.
that.
but you know, a lot of
Appreciate
people
that.
look. They're looking for something, and to me, like you said, the simplicity of that night, like that'd be a dope night for me without knowing somebody famous. You see what I'm saying? Like
Right.
that
Right.
Right.
just like what we gonna do? And we end up
Right.
being out all night. Like we probably could have sat on the curb, drunk something, laughed at whoever walked by, tell old stories, catching up. But that just sounds like a dope night and being genuine as a person.
Yeah.
Because you could have been like, well, I don't want to go to White Castle. If we not going to this restaurant, we got to pick something better than White Castle. Like,
Right.
people are always looking for something. And I think
Right.
that's the problem. Like some people got burnt in the
Yep.
past and that's why they're looking for something. And then other people looking for something because everybody else getting something.
Right.
So I
Right.
think that's a problem. I think just being genuine needs to be valued a lot more.
Indeed. Indeed.
Agreed. And just to piggyback on that, it's not that I give myself like any kind of like I don't see myself as anything more than myself. But what I've learned in having these talks, especially over the past year, is how many misconceptions that men make over a woman's appearance. How many, misconceptions. Like I was literally out on Sunday with a friend. We were having brunch, and it happened to be right in New York. It was one thing I would say as a New Yorker, you will never go wrong with an Irish pub. Ever. If you're in New York or area, you will never. There's always good food, good drink, and somebody back there who's hospitable. I swear to God. And so we found this little Irish pub, and because I know how to interact with people, I travel a lot, so I know about service and how to treat people. You know, my people are like, it's like it's cheers in here. When he walked through the door, he said to me, I hope we don't get into like any fights or arguments today. And I'm like, well, why would we? And he was like, I don't know, I know how your mouth is. And I'm like, clearly you don't know me well enough. Because if you knew me well enough, you would know that we're not coming in here not only to have a great time, we're coming here to rock the show. So here we are 3 hours later, drinks are flowing, we dancing with white people, with North Carolina Tar Heel hats on, and everybody's having a great time. And I'm like, I hope that I changed your misconception about what you thought about me walking through the door. Stop having these misconceptions about who people are based on what they look like.
Right.
Deal with people on how they interact. And once they've shown you who their true face is, believe it and deal with that.
That's real.
Hey, but what's common with black folk though? They always got a good story about partying with white folk.
Of
Never know.
course,
It
because there's
always
always a white folk who's
If
down
you've
for
lived
the
long
shit.
enough,
there's always you always
yeah.
end up in a white bar. Like I don't care who you are. Over time, you will end up in a white bar and you will have a great time.
Yeah,
Because you can hang out in the hood bar every day for 20 years, but you will hang out in
true.
one white bar and you will have a great time.
Well, because you don't know what to expect. You don't know if you're gonna come out there
Exactly.
in handcuffs or with a party hat on. Like it's real delicate today. You know what I'm saying? Depending on where you go, no matter what your intentions are. So my thing is, when you do get the good time, enjoy it. Because
Yeah.
when you think about the racial tensions and where this country has been when it comes to black, I rock with people who rock with me. If you're down with me, I'm down with you. You want to act funny? We can. Hey, it's okay. I don't want to, but at the end of the day, you have to interact with how people interact with you.
You know
They
why? Because
say
tonight we're getting fucked up.
Okay? Yeah.
I used to live in Kansas, so I know that in a real way. It was a way of life for
Right.
longer than I thought it would be. But it seems like your level of discernment, your judge of character, um, is not something that you found. Do you feel like you've always been as sociable as you are?
No. I I actually, to be honest with you, I don't even want to be that sociable. I'm actually that person that walk into the nail salon. People just want to talk to me sometimes, and I get it. I have this warm energy, where I'm like, open, and so at the nail
We lost the audio.
We lost the audio. Did you hit the mute?
No.
No, she didn't hit the mute button.
Can you hear us? If you can hear us, just go out and come back in. We'll be here when you get back. So this is dope, man. Like B.Luv is giving us real energy. I do want y'all to check out LGL Real Talk LLC. She goes on Wednesday nights, and hopefully we can get the technical issues back online.
Yeah, because man, this liquor got me sweating. Boy, I had my hat off, my hat on. Tell you, boy,
Nah,
Gucci, my shirt off.
she got a real dope energy, so I want to hear where she going with that story. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
Like you would think she been like that all her life.
yeah. Hey, it'd be a dope episode.
What's that?
Her and Tiki Blue on there at the same time.
Right.
Hi guys, I'm so sorry about that. I
Oh,
get a
no
little turned
worries.
around with
That's all right.
StreamYard.
That's the first notice when they say your bill cycle started on your phone. That's the first
It's
notice.
zoo. It's zoo.
That is
Well, go
hilarious.
go ahead and finish your story if you can, but you're gonna have to rewind what you were saying because it cut out.
Yeah,
Guys,
we
start with
missed
the
out.
question again.
So basically, I was saying like how you got this great energy and how sociable you are. How long
Right.
have you been like that, or have you always been that way?
Okay. Well, first of all, thank you so much for that. I appreciate that. No, I haven't always been that way. I was actually really a very quiet person, quiet kid. And even now, I realize that it's just like an energy thing. But there's times where I'm out and I'm like, I don't really want to like talk to people. And even when I'm on social media and I do these shows, I'm always cautious of like rubbing somebody the wrong way or saying something that's going to be insulting to anybody and backlash and stuff like that. Like I it's just been kind of like a natural progression. Being in corporate
Right.
America for 20 years, progressing into sales where I was like forced to talk to people on every level from CEOs all the way down. I appreciated the ride because I started from the bottom and worked my way up. So I have a respect for everybody in between. And I just learned like, how you treat people and how you interact is kind of what you're going to get back. And I also believe in treating people the way that I want to be treated.
Right.
So that's basically how I operate.
Do you think
That's
you
one
be
thing. That's one thing that we like as we were coming to building the idea of doing the podcasting thing in general is
Hmm.
are you ready for what it is to be in the black hole that is the internet? Are you ready to
Right.
get memed up or, like you said, reacted to a certain kind of way?
Right.
And it didn't take me long to not giving a fuck. Just because I'm not a horrible person.
Right.
So anything that I say, I feel like I mean, and if I
Right.
mean it and it hurts your feelings, I hate that it hurts your feelings, but we'll get over it.
Right. Right. And it's just my feeling. I think that's
Right.
the other thing is that people take things so personal. I'm like, at the end of the day, I'll listen to Jay. One of the things that I've tried to do is like listen to what people say and take the gems out of it. People want to take everything with it. And I'm like, just take what you need and leave the rest. Sometimes none of it applies. Sometimes all of it applies. If it applies, take that too. And at the end of the day, it's like take the gems to better yourself as a person. That's why I can get on this live and talk about, the things that I want and my expectations from the people that I interact with. Because I'm not going to ask you for anything that I'm not prepared to give you across the board, professionally, personally, in any sense of the word, whether we're friends. So, people are not in their process to be able to do that. They go in with what they want, what they need, and we, as though people on the other side of it, just have to figure out how much of that are you willing to give up, and how much are you willing to preserve of yourself. And when it comes to this whole public thing, and I have people, I don't know how you guys has been going for y'all. When people listen to your episodes, do they come back with feedback and they're like, what you should and shouldn't say? And I'm like, I'm gonna speak my truth. This is my truth. I come here every Wednesday to talk my truth about whatever it is we're talking about. And if you
You know
can't
how you
handle
stop
that,
that?
huh?
You know how you stop that?
Yeah,
Tell them come on the show.
Yeah.
they do.
Yeah.
They come
Yeah,
on the show and they
just
listen, and then they'll be like, well, I've had my aunt be like, I've talked about my kids. Because none of us have problems with our kids. Everybody's kid is great. Nobody has issues. So when I bring up kids issues with my kid, oh, you don't want to put your kid out there. Well, I'm talking about real ish. When I talked about, talk about the way men approach me or the way they're interacting, this is real ish. This is my story. You don't have to come here. But if you listen, I promise you, you will get something from this story.
Let
So,
me let me ask you this, kind of a two part. What are your biggest struggles,
mhm.
and what was your first episode about?
uh, the biggest struggle is lack of support from your own folks. And I know people say, don't worry about that, but it still bugs me that I know for a year, I did a year of episodes supporting entrepreneurs and, what I'm saying, doing all of these things and not asking them to send me anything, buying their stuff, supporting their stuff, you know what I mean? And I can't get a tag or a like. That bugs me a little bit. And I think that's my biggest struggle is getting this message out there. It's not as fast as I would like it to be, but guess what? I'm here with you, so it's going at the pace it's supposed to, and I have to trust that process. Uh, my first topic was about submission, and because to me, it's one of the biggest words and things that women struggle with, men and women struggle with in relationships, because I think they have the wrong idea about what submission actually is to one another and in situations. So.
so talk
So
about
what?
it. Give us a little bit.
Oh,
We here now.
All right. So I always talk about so my whole show is like there's five slices to be, which is God first, then family, love if I have it, friends, and then work. And these are the things that I have to manage in my life every day. God is always number one, always priority. That never changes. But the other stuff does change, right? And when I think about the word submission, submission to me used to be like such a bad word because submission meant that I was giving you my power. And that's really what submission means, is giving someone your power, right? And I knew what that meant in so many ways, and it was like negative to me as an independent woman and all these things that I had been through. I'm not going to be submissive, blah, blah, blah. As you come into your growth, I realized that submission is really the word that, when you look at it, it's kind of like a gift and a curse because it's really about being able to know when to stand up and when to sit down as
It's
a
a
woman.
dance. It's a dance.
So, and I talked about that in its different states because, whether I'm at work, I can be the person who's leading this board meeting, or I can be the person who's learning because there's somebody up there who's talking who may bring more to the table than I do. That's submission. You know, submission is when I'm out with my friends and some issue or something may arise. One of us is in a situation to deal with it. And nobody's like, I got it, girl, I got us. Like, who got this? Because all of us have the ability to take care of it. Who wants to handle it today? You know what I mean? That's submission. Submission is with my kids and my family wanting to control their outcome, their lives, the things that they do, but not being able to because I'm just mom and I have my role in their life and I have to understand that. That's submission, you
I
know.
always,
So a lot, but understanding that it's you don't give up your power. You're allowing someone that you trust to step into that power.
I always say don't make a situation worse than it already is.
Shouldn't
Like,
be.
and that goes across because I like to just watch. Like, I try to vibe off people, so
Hmm.
I watch for the first couple minutes, and then I'll decide if I'm gonna be the leader of this of this scene or I'm gonna be
Right.
a listener. I'm not gonna be a
Right.
follower of the situation, but I
No.
decide if I'm gonna be a listener or a leader of the situation which we're in. But I always say
Right.
don't make a situation worse than it already is because you don't know what level somebody else is ready to take that in. Because sometimes
Right.
it can be genuine fun, but you got some people that act too wild when they're free, which
Right.
can make a situation worse. And then you got some people that get extra heated that can make a situation worse. So it kind of, I kind of take that with everything,
Hmm.
regardless, friends, family, strangers, whatever.
It,
That's just my.
it's
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 part
dope that you
submission, but
bring it up.
it's a
And that's submission. That's
yeah,
being able
Yeah,
to say, I don't have to control this.
yeah,
It's being able to say, it's, you know, whether I'm controlling it or not, it's fine because I'm
yeah,
trusting that whoever's controlling it, it's
yeah.
okay. You know what I mean?
right.
So,
So the gym I got out of that is when you said I used to think a submission was a bad thing or a negative thing. I
hmm
think you can help a lot of people with that.
hmm
Like, I don't think, well, I don't know anymore, man. The world's so crazy right
yes,
now. But
yes,
most reasonable thinking people, you have to understand that there's certain situations where you are not the boss. And the whole Karen thing is the best example of that. You know what I'm
hmm
saying? So I think we need to hear, like, there's so many trigger words, man. Everything ain't a fucking trauma, cuz my mama
exactly.
whooped my ass, cuz, but it wasn't trauma.
Right,
You feel me? Whether you
right,
believe in corporal punishment or not.
right.
And it's just one of those trigger words. But I think, like, if people understood that you were going to be asked in certain situations to relinquish said control, or, like you guys said, be in charge of that control. You know what I'm
hmm
saying? So it's just good to hear, put my quotations around. I don't have no subtitles to throw up right now. I'm working on that.
Okay.
But understanding that submission is not a bad thing. You're not soft because you're submitting and things like that. So that was a dope.
Not at all.
That was a dope idea for a show,
So
Thank
and
you.
appreciate you sharing with us.
let me ask you this: so how do your kids feel about the podcast and the whole journey you're going on?
I think my kids, at first it was just like whatever, you know, and it kind of is to them too because you know they don't understand this journey. For them, I'm mom, right? And they feel like they sum me up into a nutshell and just like this is what it is. And my youngest is extremely supportive. He's a creative. He's in music. He jumps on the live. He'll listen to it. He's like, "Mom, that talk was so dope." Like, you know what I'm saying? And he'll even give me feedback, which I appreciate so much. And, you know, at the end of the day, this is my journey. I love their support, you know what I'm saying? And I know they're going to give it to me at the times where it really matters. So they don't have to be, you know, there every week, but they got my back the way I got theirs. So,
It's cool because you not like they're your kids. So just throughout your life, that
yeah.
helps you bridge your gap to really,
Hmm.
make the platform work the way it does, because it does start at a young age for girls and boys alike. You feel
Okay.
me? Like,
Yeah.
your environment is everything. You know, if you were not in an environment to learn those critical things, then you
Yep.
kind of out here wounded.
Hmm.
So the fact that you would be there to kind of be a watchtower for young girls is what's really really dope. So
Yeah.
we can definitely do everything we can. We tell everybody, man, like this is a
Mm.
platform that we want to turn into a community where you can have like conversations. Like I don't want to bring back the '80s, but I kind of want to bring back some of that shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
We
We
have to. The '80s impacted us, and I think this platform isn't just about little girls. I'm learning this about little boys lost. I'm dating broken, grown ass men because they're grown men lost. They have not dealt with their childhood traumas. People think that it's one thing. It's not one thing. It's not just my dad wasn't there. It wasn't because I had a. You know what I'm saying? It's not one thing. It's a combination of things that make a person. And when I talk about these topics, whether we're talking about submission, whether we're talking about mental illness, whether we're talking about, the decision to have a polyamorous relationship, these are all of the things that have been formed into a person over a long period of time. We're getting to a point in our lives where we have to make decisions about how we want to move forward. Do you want to move forward as a husband or a wife? Do you want to move forward as a single person who doesn't want attachments and who's honest about it? Do you want to move forward in a situation, whatever that is for you? And the only way that we can make those decisions is if we start to have these conversations. And because we were always told not to have the conversations, we grew up and don't talk about it. You don't
Yeah.
leave this house and tell my business. You don't leave this house and tell nobody how you feel. What goes on in here is what goes on in here.
Yeah.
Good, bad, indifferent, effed up, it's in here. So we have become a people who have internalized all of these things. We think it's okay. We're holding on to these bad ideas of relationship, our parent shit. They didn't even have their crap together, a lot of them. You know what I'm saying? And here we are trying to be like my mother. How did it work out for her? Is she happy? But people have to hold on to something, and that's why I'm having these conversations. And I appreciate that you guys are having them too, because the only way we're gonna get to the point of healing is to talk about it.
Well,
that's real.
I think we was preached and what you just said of stays in the house and all that. That symbolizes stay inside. So
Mhm.
everything we do is staying inside. So I wanted to bring this up also because, like I said, I chimed in on the one you just did, and you
Mhm.
had talent. You had another guy, and
What's another?
you had the female from New York.
Mhm. Mhm.
So she was very, and she said at the time I chimed in, she was
Mhm.
very aggressive on how she spoke and how she presented it.
Mhm.
So with that being said, people from up north are a lot more aggressive than us down south,
Mhm.
um, than the people in the Midwest, than the
Right.
West Coast. So do
Right.
you have problem translating your energy with people that are from not up north? Damn, people that's not from up north. Damn, boy, my grandma's fucked up. But yeah, people from
That's
not up
different,
north.
cuz.
Nah, I
That's
like
that
to
drink.
be. I don't
Tongue
read,
got
but
too big.
I like to say what?
I like to
What'd you
drink
say?
too. I know, right?
You said my beard too big.
um,
You said you
I
right.
say your tongue got too big.
you drinking? He drinking. That
Yeah, I'm
101
drinking.
is kicking. He drinking.
I'm drinking.
Okay. Um, I think that one of the things about coming on these platforms that's super important, and again, learning from corporate America, is that you not just have to be able to give a message, deliver a message, you have to get the buy in the message. And the only way you get that is if you are able to deliver it in a way where other people understand it. I also understand her vernacular as a Bronx native, and I've watched her lives before. And I'll just ask you this: was there anything that she said, even though the tone wasn't in the tone that you liked, but was there anything that she said that you could disagree with?
Oh no, no, that's not what I was meaning. I mean, like, do people in other regions identify with like how
Mhm.
aggressive she was? Like, I ain't got a problem with it. But
Right.
there's a lost communication with, like, with us. People say down south y'all talk slow, or y'all drag your words out. So
Right.
when we're talking, people don't understand how we're, you know, how we're
Yeah.
I think
forming.
transmitting, and it's always gonna be person to person, cause like
Yeah,
I think so
some
too. It's
people gonna be
subjective.
offended. Yeah,
Right. It's
some people
so
gonna be
subjective.
offended, no matter how soft you say it.
well, yeah, that's what I was saying. Like her opinion, your
Yeah,
opinion, basically on different regions, understanding the up north culture.
Mm-hmm.
Should I
No,
say?
I completely agree. Listen, it's important to me on how you deliver the message, but here's the crazy part. I said the same exact thing that she said, not
Oh,
so
I could tell because you
aggressively.
was laughing. I could tell
No,
'cause you was.
because I've said it. And what I said to somebody earlier today before I got on this live was like, I'm glad that I'm hearing it from somebody who doesn't look like me because the problem is that y'all jump on here and y'all think it's shits and giggles because I'm cute. When at the end of the day, there's some real stuff going on out here that all of us are feeling. And she said it, and I'm like, this is the same exact thing I've been saying. You men are, and I'm not saying all of you men, please do not take when I say you men. Men are not coming to women and approaching us in the way that you're supposed to, but you're approaching certain women in a certain way. We want to be approached in a different way because we understand that we are at a different caliber for ourselves. And that's all she was saying.
Yeah, I
But
agree.
because she's brolic about it, she's like, yo, y'all not and I'm saying to you, y'all don't act right. I say it all the time. Y'all don't act right. But at the end of the day, what I love about her is her brolicness. And that's why I brought her on, and that's why she'll have a voice. I'll be the soft voice there. I'll be the mediator. I'll be the translator who's like, listen, at the end of the day, guys, I know the way she's shooting the bullet is rough, but please understand the message because what she's
you in the
saying
way.
has
You
value.
still in the way of the
Yeah,
bullet, right?
yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, the analogy she used with Freedy, like that was true. Like I caught that part
Okay.
when she was talking about. Yeah, when she talking about the dude saying, so when you coming to see me, and she was
Yeah.
like, yeah, no,
I'm
I just,
glad to see you on my
yeah,
dime. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? On the other
yeah.
side of that, and I didn't even get a rebuttal because I'm on the other side of that where I'm like, I would prefer to come on my own dime because guess what? You're not controlling my flow of traffic. So you see
And
how people look at things differently? She's looking at it like, yo, you're not doing this. And I'm looking at it like, you don't have to do that because I got this. I'm looking at something else.
White
Is there a
Castle.
different, the white, listen, and again, White Castle. Look, I like Mr. Charles, but I like White Castle. I'm very flexible. Like I'm so regular, but don't get it confused. I still have my standards. You know what I'm saying? And when it comes to situations like that, really, I'm sitting here waiting for you to buy me a ticket to do what? And then what happens? I'm waiting for you to book the hotel. So what? I get to the other side and I'm waiting for you to pick. I don't understand these lingos. I like to put myself in situations. It's so funny when I'm like, people are like, I'm a boss. I'm a boss. I'm like, I don't know. Boss to me means handling business. That's what I do all day, every day. If I'm in a situation where I don't feel comfortable, guess what I'm doing? Marriott, I'm on my way. Lyft, come get me. United, I'm leaving in the morning. Why? Because I'm not waiting for you to do any of that. And that's why, from that perspective, I was like, I'm gonna just let her rock her show. I get it. I get what she's saying. Because
Yeah.
again, it's the intention of the
Everybody's different.
men.
Everybody's different.
But
So
yeah, exactly.
Oh, hold on, real
we
quick.
getting
I
ready
just want
to.
real quick.
Hmm.
People know bosses get fired, right?
Listen, not if you run the company.
Fired,
Just so
No,
replaced,
you
no,
know.
reassigned.
no. They get fired too. The owners don't get fired, but bosses all get fired.
Listen, y'all, everybody gets that word boss confused. I just said the word
Exactly.
boss to me means you handling business. That to
Yeah.
me is not no title. It means life. I do it every day. If that's how what you want to label it, knock yourself out. To me, this is life. I handle it all day,
Hey,
every day.
hit her with the capsule real quick before we on the way out.
Okay. So we end the show kind of like we start the show. Just you answering questions, but you kind of giving people insight, man. So the
Okay.
time capsule is I need. I'll try to make it easy as possible, and if it
Nah,
never is, we'll
nah,
Do
get
your
there.
thing. Do your
nah.
thing. Do
Yeah,
your
Let me
thing.
ask the question, bruh.
you said you make it
Ask the
easy.
question.
Don't make it
So,
easy.
See,
um, 5 books, movies, television shows, or art that you would want to send 100 years into the future.
Wow.
see now she don't want to
Five.
answer.
No, no, give
Or
me
no,
a minute.
or
That's
her nose started running.
Yeah, you're so funny. Oh my goodness. 5 movie artworks, TV shows. Number one movies would be Lady Sings the Blues
Mm.
because it talks about a period in time that talks about struggle. I struggle.
Indeed.
Music. I think every person in the world should experience um, Prince or Luther Vandross.
Woo.
They both have their own spin, but they're both exceptional. Like I could live with either or. TV shows. This is gonna be a funny one because of the whole dynamic behind it, but stay with me. It would be the Cosby Show because again, it speaks to a time and a lifestyle of our people that was progressive. It wasn't the first struggle. Um,
For real.
let's see. Art. Um, I am like in a place where I'm starting to like look at art and collect art, but I've always been intrigued by that piece in the Cosby Show that Claire wanted her family to own.
Our mom got one. Yeah, our
Yes,
mom
you
got
do.
one. Yeah, our mom got one.
I don't know why. For again, it's just such a culture statement and such a you know what I'm saying, just an impact to our time. And then let's see, one more. I think again another one out of the box, but Frank Sinatra is music that we need to take into the future. And while it doesn't it speaks to our time, it doesn't, but it does. It speaks to an era and a class that's just like it's not color. You know what I'm saying? It's just about the music.
You actually bodied that. That was a
Yeah,
pretty
go
good
ahead, Jay
fight.
Walker. Go ahead.
That
Okay.
was that was dope.
You.
Um,
This is awesome.
See?
Michael Michael Jackson, Man in the Mirror, gotta go
Okay.
for as long as it can go.
Okay.
Man in the Mirror has to. If we gotta, we need a moral compass. That song is the moral compass all in one.
Agreed.
Um, my TV show for whatever beige people will be 100 years from now will probably be Good Times.
Okay. Yes.
There
Yes.
was enough. There was enough struggle and enough love.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Um, my favorite movie of all time is Life
I
with
just
Eddie
watched that
Murphy.
the other day. That movie is classic. Classic.
It covered the span of a lifetime of two people that probably represents millions of people.
Right.
You feel me?
Yeah.
So that was three.
Yep.
Um, Stonehenge, man. I gotta see
Wow.
Stonehenge before I die. That's my art because
Okay.
that's bigger than life.
Okay.
Nobody can tell you how that amassed. So I hold Stonehenge in regard like I hold the pyramids and the Sphinx.
Okay.
Like what the fuck did
That.
this? You feel
Right.
me?
Yes.
Um, I need one more thing, huh? Only because it's on my mind in the moment, and that's what this is. Shawshank Redemption.
Damn it, boy. I was
You
just
gonna
about to
take
say,
that one?
yeah, I was gonna say that one for the simple fact of Shawshank. Shawshank is a white person getting screwed.
Right.
Be, befriended a black person for genuine friendship
Right.
and watching over him through the next 30 years and them both celebrating each other.
Right.
Like
Yes.
that
Agreed. Yeah.
like
That's
I
good.
was gonna do that one. I was gonna do, and because they remade it, it's gonna be like a slash is Wonder Years.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like the new one and the old one, I wanted to put them together. My
Mhm.
art is the Tree of Life. I've
Okay.
always I've always loved the tree of life. That's just
Okay.
that's just my thing. Sam Cooke, a change is gonna come.
Facts.
Uh, and what's left? So I did a TV show, a
Did the
movie.
Wonder Years count for one and
Art,
two?
Uh, Art
music.
was the
Yeah,
tree of
music
life.
was.
Music was
Music
a
is
change
there.
gonna
Okay.
come.
You
hmm
need a movie.
I did a movie, Shawshank.
Oh, TV show.
TV show
That's
was one of the years.
Jesus. So people want
Music,
more.
art. Yeah. I
People
think I
want more.
doubled up somewhere too.
Yeah, we all had to double up.
Um, damn.
We getting older over here, bro.
Yeah. I would say, I would say, because I just love music,
hmm
the Isley Brothers as a whole.
Okay.
That's fair.
Just because
Okay.
everything they've standed the test of time, and they was from the '60s to now 2020, 2021 going to 20. Like their music has transcended, and they've talked about everything.
Yeah. In a respectful way for the record.
Yeah,
So we going into the last call. The last call, the bartender want us out. He tired of stories, and we not as cool
we gotta go to
as
White
we once
Castle.
were.
We
Yeah,
gotta
We
go to
going to
White
White
Castle.
Castle.
we on the
Go
way to
get the
White
double
Castle.
slider.
So this is your opportunity to uh, put your LGL Real Talk up. Put your IG out. Say something profound. Curse somebody out. This is walking out the bar. How you feeling?
All right, how I feel? Well, I feel great. Thank you so much. This is a great time, a great talk. I really appreciate it. And again, LGO Real Talk is about real talk, real people talking about real things. And if you really just want to change your mindset, if you want to look at things differently and see different perspectives, then you need to join me every Wednesday at 6 o'clock at LGO Real Talk on Instagram. We're going to be going to Facebook soon. You can actually download my videos, but go to Instagram and go check out some of my old videos, guys. Go check out Submission. Go check out some of the other lives that I've talked about. There's some good stuff in there, and there's some great people. So I look forward to hopefully seeing you guys on my live really soon. And I thank you again for letting me join you tonight.
For sure, for sure. Carolina, what's your final call?
Um, First of all, when we log off, stay on for a second after we um be genuine. I think that's from the whole thing. Be genuine about everything. Be genuine about your personal life, your business life, your
Yeah.
friendship, your family. Just be genuine. And I've said this the last two episodes. Invest in people. Um, I took a chance in reaching out to her. She took a
Yeah.
chance in
B.Luv.
B.Luv. She took a chance in responding and say I do it. She was on point with all the communication and this. So as she was saying, paying it forward, like I feel
Yeah.
like this relationship will be able to go on either platform whenever. So being genuine, you've seen this. This is us all day, every day, regardless if we hit the record button or not. So just be genuine to people, and you'll see good things come out of it. I think this was a good episode.
Me too. It was great. I love this. Thank you.
Super dope episode. Super dope episode. And my final call, man. You know me. I don't really subscribe to traditional stuff. Stop being weird to people. And if you are weird, embrace your weirdness. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
it's twofold. The people that need to stop being weird, they know they need to stop being weird. And the people that's weird that don't want to show themselves, y'all need to do that too. You feel me? There's space out here for everybody. You can understand everybody if you give them a chance. It doesn't matter about a color, a preference. We can disagree and still go home at night. You feel me? And we can
hmm
disagree again. So just we're trying to change our train of thoughts and be positive moving forward, man. This was really dope. We appreciate you, B.Luv. We gonna check you
Thank you
out. We
so
gonna
much.
rock with you as much as possible. Uh, This is the
Same
Bottom
here.
of the Bottom podcast. I'm Jay Walking the Third. That's Carolina Dirt 803. Like, share, subscribe, look out, and we gone, man. Y'all be easy.